you get the feeling that the Red Sox had Johnny McNamara fired since the '86 series? It seems as the overtures were being made right after the series that if he doesn't come back to repeat, then he'll be gone.
Well, they've done it now, and an interim manager has been made. I wonder if that's an interim situation like Russ Nixon, who is an odds-on favorite to be the manager in 1989. I would be really surprised from talking to the Braves people if he were not. I don't know if that's Joe Morgan's fate or not. At any rate, Mailer completes his warm-up tosses. Rick is, I hate to bring this up, but in fairness, I feel we must. He is 2-8 lifetime against the New York Mets. He has lost 7 in a row, and he has not beaten them since May 25th, 1982, more than 6 years ago. There were kids who were unborn now playing Little League since the last time Rick Mailer beat the Mets. Ron Darling, on the other hand, is 8-1 against Atlanta, but that loss came this year, interrupting an 8-game streak, so maybe Mailer can get things going. A lot of Mets fans here tonight. That's always the case wherever they go.
I knew you'd find that silver lining.
And it wasn't easy. Dykstra will lead it off. He's hitting .295 with 3 homers, 14 RBIs. Now time is called again. Now apparently a gate is opened on the right field line. We've only been away from this for 3 days. How has it come it's so difficult to get a game started? And there's no one from the grounds crew in the neighborhood, so now we'll wait for that. Mets will be here again tomorrow night and again on Saturday evening. Both games will commence at 7:40, and then a 2:10 game Sunday. Then the Braves hit the road to Philadelphia and to New York, come back to play Cincinnati, and then head west for a week.
We had some rain before the start of the game, and if we can get a shot of the whole infield, you'll notice the left side of the infield is extremely dark. I don't know if that has anything to do with it. And then the right side is relatively clear. I'm trying to figure out why it's that way.
Well, now we have a little tractor driving up to... Boy, this is exciting stuff we've got here. Boy, getting a lot of business out of the way here. This telecast authorized under rights granted by the Atlanta National League Baseball Club, intended solely for the entertainment of our audience. They're almost at the wall. And there they go. Now the gate will be shut. Any publication, rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, or accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Atlanta National League Baseball Club is prohibited. Dykstra is hitting .295. And Mailer deals. Slow curve inside, 1 ball, no strikes. The announcement is made. It's not considered a rain delay. No kidding. It's not raining. Line foul into the right field corner. Count evens at 1-1. Downstairs, 2 balls and a strike.
When the Mets are going well, they've got Dykstra and Backman, first 2 hitters in their order. As I refer to them, the pesky hitters. They're on base, creating havoc for the big guns in the lineup: Starbury, McReynolds, Johnson.
That's upstairs, and it's 3-1. Mailer has excellent control. He's walked only 16 in 127 and a third innings. They tell me that while both are having a good year, both Backman and Dykstra, the 3-1. There's a strike, full count. They haven't done it in concert. In other words, one of them will go 2 for 4 one day, and the other one 2 for 3 with a walk the next. In '86, when they won the whole thing, every time you looked up, it seemed they were at first and third or first and second for the Big Bombers. Mets are 53 and 34, so they're doing all right. Ground ball to first. Gerald Perry has it, steps on the bag, 1 down. So that's how the game begins. Wally Backman will be the batter. Backman hitting .285 with 10 RBIs, no homers. He and Tim Tuffle have shared the second base job. 1 out, nobody aboard. Slow curve, low and inside. 1 ball, no strikes. Fans still filing in here.
you were saying earlier that a lot of people are from New York here. They'll have a lot of fans.
Little tap to second. Ronnie Gant has it. 2 out.
It seems as though no matter what division or what league, when a New York team goes on the road, it seems that there are a lot of fans for them. Is everybody from New York?
Well, there are 2 ways to look at it. Either it's because it's got the biggest population and many of the people have been transferred, or it's that people are trying like crazy to get out of there. I don't know which is the case. Dave Magadan is the batter, and he's having a fine year, and he's getting a chance with Keith Hernandez on the disabled list for the 2nd time this year with hamstring problems. Magadan making the most of his chance to play. He's hitting .308. He had a good cut there, fouled it off 0-1. We're just underway in Atlanta. Billy Sample, Skip Carey with you. The Mets play their 88th game of the year. The Braves their 85th.
Somehow with Fernandez on the disabled list for the 2nd time with hamstring problems, it sort of alleviates all of the discussion about Rickey Henderson last year, who had hamstring problems. And of course, Rickey Henderson's going to use his legs a lot more than Keith Hernandez will.
Well, Mr. Steinbrenner got in the paper again over the All-Star break, didn't he? Speaking of New York. Line drive off Mailer. Now he finds it. Can he throw him out? Yeah. Rick appears to be all right. That ball tagged him. He couldn't find it right away, but he pounced on it in time. Let's see where he got hit. Good pitch, by the way. Breaking ball down. Looked like it got him in the right knee. That could hurt before the night is over. We go to the bottom of the 1st in a scoreless game. We go to the bottom of the 1st, and there's ethyl chloride being applied to the shin of Rick Mailer. That's the freezing compound that cuts down on the pain. That could swell up on him a little later in the game. There's the Mets defense. And Ronnie Gant leads off the bottom of the 1st. He's hitting .253, 9 homers, 33 RBIs. There are the numbers on Darling. 8-1. Lifetime against the Braves. The one loss was earlier this year in Shea Stadium, and Gant hit a bases-loaded double to beat him the ball game. 0-1.
And the Mets, so pitching talented, had a guy 10-5 with a 2.70 earned run average and couldn't make the All-Star team. Cone and Gooden representing the Mets in the National League.
They have a team earned run average of 3.05. He tries to bunt his way on, and it winds up a souvenir. A ball and a strike to count. They've given up 679 hits. The Braves staff 838. And this is the kind of organization the Braves aspire to. They're building toward this. Curve hit hard. Howard Johnson knocks it down. 1 away. Gant is retired. Ken Oberkfell, the batter. He's hitting .265, 3 homers, 28 runs batted in. A guy like Magadan comes along when Hernandez is hurt. He's hitting over 300. David Cone comes out of nowhere in a trade, and he's one of the outstanding pitchers in the league. Frank Cashin and his group of people over there have done a remarkable job, and the Mets have always done well developing pitchers.
And why does it seem as though the good organizations make the good trades? They picked up
that's how they get to be good organizations.
Edwin Nunez, one of the hard-throwing right-handers in the American League. They pick him up and trade for, essentially, for Gene Walter.
This is a pretty good ball club. Joe McIlvaine, by the way, is their vice president of baseball operations. Frank Cashin, the general manager. But McIlvaine is the guy who heads up the minor league situation. Sharply hit, fair into the corner. Strawberry's got a great arm. The ball rolls dead out there, and Obi is at second base easily. So the Braves get something going in the 1st. Runner at second, 1 out.
Looked like an all-speed pitch the way Ken went after it. Yeah, you see him hit it off the end of his bat right by the bag. You see Magadan chasing after it, and Oberkfell has his 12th double of the season.
So here's the Braves all-star, Gerald Perry, who batted once, flied out to left against Roger Clemens. Good curveball, 0-1. Activity in the Braves bullpen, so the blow Mailer took is more severe than we at first thought. Charlie Palaio up and throwing. He bounced off the mound in good shape, but sometimes it takes a little while for those to begin to sting. Out in front on the curveball, fouled it off again. Dale Murphy is on deck.
Unfortunately, that's not a new situation for Charlie. He's been up early in the game. Charlie's pitched long relief, short relief, and has started on occasions, but I guess of all the situations, if he has to be up in long relief this early in the game, this is the one you'd rather have.
0-2, the count to Perry. There might be a precaution. We'll just see if Mailer is able to answer the bell in the second inning. Fastball high and away, a ball and 2 strikes. Speaking of Dale Murphy, did you see his line? I forget who, but somebody named him the National League's Nice Guy Award. And when it was presented, he said, "Who voted? The National League pitchers?" You got to keep smiling, or this game will drive you wacko. Down and in, it's 2-2.
It also should be mentioned, if we haven't before, that Dale won the Roberto Clemente Award for his humanitarian services both on and off the field, or the way he plays on the field, and humanitarian services off.
Well, nobody could deserve it more. He's an exceptional person.
It was just a matter of time.
The 2-2. Downstairs, he laid off. It's 3-2. To me, that is half of becoming a good hitter, is having the discipline. Like 2 years ago, Gerald Perry, I bet you, chases that pitch. He's become a disciplined hitter.
Especially when you got a guy like Darlington that can throw a few pitches across the plate. He's got a good fastball, 80s and 90s, and a forkball, and a curveball also.
He was ahead 0-2, and he lost him, and Murphy bats with 2 on and 1 out. Palaio continues to work in the bullpen. Ken Griffey moves on deck. Murph hitting .218 with 13 homers, 41 RBI. Dave Johnson looks on from the Mets dugout. Johnson has done a good job with his team. Anytime you can manage a ball club in New York without a whole lot of controversy blowing up, you've done a good job.
Key word, whole lot.
Oh, there's always going to be some. Drive right field. Did he get enough? Strawberry in the corner. He looks up. It's gone. 3-run homer for Murphy. There's a start to the second half, and the Braves have the lead. For a minute, I thought it was going to be the all-star game all over again for Strawberry, but he got enough of it to get it all the way up. Number 14, 44 RBI.
Well, a 3-run homer can certainly make you feel good to start off your half of the first. You see Dale take that pitch, drive it to the opposite field, and we've said many a time when he takes that pitch and drives it to the opposite field, especially for a home run, you get the feeling good things are going to happen off the bat of Dale Murphy.
Ken Griffey bats, 1 out, nobody on, but 3 runs are home. Outside, 1 ball, no strikes. Griffey loops it into right. Strawberry's there. 2 down. There's Rick Mailer in the Atlanta dugout. I don't know if he'll... Well, Palaio has taken a seat. He's either come in to pitch or he's just sat out.
3 runs might make your leg feel a little better.
All of a sudden, it doesn't sting quite as much. So it looks like Mailer will try to continue here. Fastball upstairs to Andres Thomas. I hope enjoyed his all-star break. He deserved to. He had a super first half. Fly ball, hacked, fouled on the right side. He swung late. Count evens, 1-1. Murphy's home run is clocked at 356 feet on the IBM tail of the tape. Breaking ball outside for Darling.
Well, you can look for Ron to be around the plate. One of the differences between last year and this year is that this year he's not walking as many batters. He's trying to get ahead of the hitters. So a lot of times early in the count, you can look for a pitch to hack on.
He's behind Thomas, 3-1. Pop foul back this way. Count goes full, 3-2. We were ready, except Billy flinched a little bit.
They look scary from back. Pop flies do.
Another one. He's shooting at us. It's still 3-2.
How do those fans make such great catches? Every time I see one in this direction, I'm running.
I have a theory, but I don't want to get into it. The 3-2 pitch, Deion James on deck. High drive, center field, not enough. Dykstra is there. And the inning is history. But well, Billy mentioned the new appearing dirt on half of the infield here, and whatever it is, it's unsatisfactory as far as the batter's box is concerned. We're going to try to figure out what's going on here. But Doug Harvey has halted play again. Rick Mailer is still in the Atlanta dugout as they try to get this field in playable condition. I can't for the life of me think what they could have done, except it has been so hot and there have been such a drought here in the southeast and throughout, for that matter, most of the country, that the last couple weeks of the first half, it was really, you took your life in your hands to play defense on the infield, not because of the ground crew's efforts, but because things were so dried out and because of the watering restrictions. It was like sort of like a pogo stick out there, the way the ball would react. And so I guess they've tried to get some dirt in here that softens thing up, and maybe it's softened it too much. That's only a guess, but now the plate umpire is satisfied, and Mailer will take his warm-up tosses, and Bruce Del Canton and Russ Nixon will be watching him very carefully to make sure that banged-up shin isn't making him throw unnaturally. Good news from the minor leagues tonight. The Richmond Braves won the first game of a doubleheader at home against Tidewater, 2-1. John Smoltz got another win. He's 9-5. He pitched a 5-hitter. Tom Edens pitched well for Tidewater, gave up only 4 hits. He's the loser. Dave Griffin, another home run. He leads the International League. That's his 15th home run of the year, and he's been on a tremendous hot streak the last couple of weeks. In the other baseball, the Pirates lead San Francisco 3-2. That's at the end of an inning. Cincinnati and Montreal scoreless after an inning and a half. Houston got 5 in the first at Philadelphia. Buddy Bell had a grand slam. Juan Samuel is homered in the bottom half against Mike Scott, but it's 5-1 Houston. Philadelphia still batting. The other action later on, American League. Minnesota failed to score in the first at Baltimore. The Yankees lead Chicago 3-1 after one. First game of that doubleheader, Baltimore beat Minnesota 7-1. Dodgers 1-2 from the Cubs, 1-0 and 6-3. And here's Darryl Strawberry having a great year. Fastball a little inside, 1 ball, no strikes. He's hitting .284, 21 homers, leads the league, 55 RBI. And he rips that one into right field. So Strawberry is aboard to start the second. Looked like in the All-Star game, Billy, I meant to ask you this because you played the outfield. Looked like he did everything right on that home run off the bat of Steinbach. He got to the wall. He leaped. It looked like he just leaped over the ball, really. It landed below his glove, and then he inadvertently knocked it over the fence.
Well, it's a little tough sometimes because the ball is moving laterally as you're going back, so you can get to the wall, but if the ball is going to move and the time that you leave your feet, then it's a tough play. It's not as easy as you would think, but you see so many great outfielders make that play, you get accustomed to, as this pitch is fouled back, you get accustomed to seeing great plays and anticipate that every time an outfielder goes back to the wall, that he should make the catch.
0-1 the count to McReynolds. He's a fine outfielder with a tremendous throwing arm, too.
Well, and especially in Cincinnati, where you've seen Eric Davis make that play so many times.
Downstairs, a ball on a strike. Speaking of Eric Davis, rumors today in Cincinnati, I understand, about a proposed Eric Davis for Dale Murphy trade. That'll give you a pause for thought.
Someone trying to manipulate the TBS ratings or what?
I don't know. No, it came out of Cincinnati, the story that I heard. Pop foul back again. I think Cincinnati, I think that story should be about half right. They should give us Eric Davis, but we should get to keep Dale Murphy.
Well, they're willing to move or make some moves, trading Tracy Jones yesterday.
Look out, runner going. He's in there easily. His 19th stolen base. It was a fastball up and in. Took Virgil a little time to set up on that pitch.
As you see, Strawberry with that lead, somewhat unusual. Pitch high and tight. Pretty good one to handle. The throw, if it's a little bit lower and on the bag, then it's a caught stealing. But Strawberry, as Skip said, gets his 19th.
Kevin McReynolds, a .281 hitter, 11 homer. There's nobody out. Runner at second. Let up, hit on the ground, headed for left field, gets through for a hit. Strawberry had to hold up. He'll pull up at third, and the Mets set up shop on the corners with nobody out in the second. And Howard Johnson will be the batter. He's hitting .245, but with 16 homers and 45 RBI. The infield will be back for Atlanta, willing to concede the run for the chance at the double play.
Some more bad news. Even though the Braves have a 3-0 lead, of the 53 Mets victories, 25 they've come from behind. So you never get the feeling, unless you've got about a 4 or 5 run lead late in the game, that you've got it won.
The Let's Go Mets chant begins here. Oh, and 1 the count. I'll bet 50% at least of the fans here are rooting for New York.
I used to hate that when I was at Texas and playing against the Yankees and have about 3/5 of the club for the other team.
Pop, Thomas is going to get there. He's got a chance at a double play, but he didn't see it quite in time. McReynolds thought that ball was going to go through, or was going to drop rather, and he was 2/3 of the way to second base when Thomas made the catch, but he was running away from the plate. And he was thinking about the runner at third, maybe tagging up and trying to steal her out. So 1 is out. Here is Gary Carter. You see his numbers.
Carter, 1 home run away from 300. Hasn't hit his.
He's been a while, too.
Yeah, May 18th. Since his last home run. Could be pressing a little bit.
He is a double play candidate if you can get a ground ball out of it. 0-1.
And when someone wants to muscle up, even someone like Carter who can hit the ball out to the opposite field, usually they start opening up a little bit. Got good sharp breaking stuff.
Fastball misses. 1-1.
Or keep the pitch away, occasionally bust them in with a fastball and make them aware of the inside part of the plate, then go away. But you get the feeling that once he gets that 300, he'll settle down and be a little more relaxed at the plate. Some other milestones. Ken Griffey of the Braves, 1 hit away from 2,000.
They chase the runner back to first. McReynolds makes it easily. Some students from the Roosevelt Warm Springs Institute for Rehabilitation here at the ballpark. They want to be remembered to the folks down in Warm Springs, Georgia. They do great work down there. The 1-1 pitch. Line, base hit, center field. A run is in. McReynolds around second. He's on his way to third. It's 3-1, and I'll tell you what, the liberties that base runners can take against the Braves outfielders is really tough.
As you see the pitch, looks like a fastball, about letter high. Rick almost able to make a play on this, and as McReynolds knows he's going to third base, he's got good strides. At that point, he's just trying to deke the center fielder Deion James into making the throw to third so that Carter can back into second base as the throw goes to third.
Unfortunately, neither Ken Griffey in left or Deion James in center has a strong throwing arm. Both are better off in left field, and so that's a problem the Braves have suffered with virtually all year long. Kevin Elster is the batter. He's hitting .215, but he's done a super job at shortstop for New York.
You can get by with having a weak arm sometimes, even in center field. Al Bunbury with the Orioles many years didn't have a strong throwing arm, but you've got to do everything else real well.
Strike call over the outside corner.
You've got to charge the ball quickly to dissuade runners from taking that first to third turn. Got to be able to go get it in the outfield, obviously, and have great speed. You can get by with it.
I mean, a lot of outfielders haven't had great arms. Stan Musial comes to my mind immediately. He couldn't, suffered an injury when he was a pitcher and really didn't throw well at all, and they wound up in left field. The let-up popped into short left field. Andres Thomas out. McReynolds tags. Thomas can't make the catch. It's a foul ball. It dropped foul, so the runners will all return. Count goes to 1-2.
Thomas has a long run for this ball, and fortunately for the Braves, it's a foul ball.
So we have it to do all over again. A 1-2 count on Elster. It's 3-1 Atlanta in the second, with runners on the corner. McReynolds is at third. Carter is at first. Elster hit .310 a year ago at Tidewater, but he's had trouble up here. Not anymore. That's a base hit, a hanging curveball. A run is in. Carter will stop at second. So the Braves' lead is down to 1 as Elster drives in his 25th run, and the pitcher Ron Darling is the batter. He will probably be bunting, but he's a pretty good hitter.
Well, it looks like a breaking ball that just stays there. You see Virgil give the low sign. Actually, it wasn't a bad pitch. It was low enough. Elster went down and got it.
Looked like live that it was a hanging curveball, but you're right. He got the ball down in pretty good order, but it's 3-2, and the tying run is at second, and the go-ahead run at first. And there's one out in the inning, and Charlie Palaio is back to work in the Atlanta bullpen.
And in the Mets scheme of things, you really don't need Elster to do much hitting. Drive in a clutch run here or there. He has 6 home runs to go with those 25 RBIs. But as long as he picks it with the hitting that they have, as the bunt is in order.
And it's a beauty. Baylor's got one play to make. A 1-4 sacrifice. Perfect bunt. They're at second and third with 2 out. And the top of the order, and he's a tough cookie, Len Dykstra, the batter. He bounced to first his first time. And Dykstra makes his home now in Jackson, Mississippi, out of Santa Ana, California.
Mets AA club is in Jackson. Sounds like he met his wife there.
Fastball high and away. 1 ball, no strikes. His uncle and his grandpa, both National Hockey League performers. Good play, Virgil, to block that. 2-0. Like most of the Mets, Dykstra has a book out about the '86 championship season. His is entitled Nails, as in hard as nails. That's the way he plays.
Or tough as.
Popped him up. If it stays in, and I think it will, Mailer's out of the inning without any further damage. But the Mets come back and get 2 on 4 hits, and they leave 2, and we go to the bottom half of the second inning. Atlanta 3, New York 2.
When that first warning itch of athlete's foot strikes, you want to stop that itch in seconds. Not even the leading remedy says it can do that. But Absorbine Jr. can. Absorbine Jr. also kills athlete's foot fungus on contact. So when that first warning itch of athlete's foot strikes, why wait 24 hours for relief when Absorbine Jr. can stop that itch in seconds? Absorbine Jr. can do that. It really can.
Go with the flow, Super Flow.
Saturday morning, USA. Guys are changing their oil to this. Super Flow from Exxon.
When you're changing your oil, go Super Flow.
Hey, this Super Flow is great stuff for blocking wear. Its wear band additive gets deep inside your engine and actually coats the moving parts.
Protects your engine with quality you know.
Look, want your engine to last?
Go with the flow, Super Flow.
I want a man with a slow hand. He's got a face that I love to touch.
Introducing the new Schick Ultrex Plus. Its pivoting head has a lubricating comfort strip and one-push cleaning to shave you smoother than ever.
A touch this easy makes me understand. When it comes to love, I want a slow
New Schick
hand.
Ultrex Plus, the easy touch for the ultimate shave.
To enjoy a 9-month subscription to Super Sports News, the official Braves magazine, plus a Braves yearbook, send $11.95 to Box 89162, Atlanta, Georgia 30312.
We go to the bottom half of the second inning. Deion James will lead it off for Atlanta. James, Virgil, and Mailer. Well, some new promos have come our way. The Braves' ever-popular Cap Night coming again this year, Saturday night. First 40,000 fans with a reserved seat ticket get a replica Braves cap, compliments of Oscar Mayer. And on Sunday, the first 25,000 fans with a reserved seat ticket get a team photo poster, courtesy of Hardee's. One ball, no strikes. The count to James. That's through there. It's 1-1. Nobody on or out in the second inning. High fly center field. Dykstra in 2, back 2. 1 up. Deion is retired. Ozzie Virgil will be the batter. A year ago, Darling was 12-8. Coming into this year, he was 56-32. He's out of Yale University, and he used to be with Texas. Billy is...
Don't get me started.
Getting nauseous. He and Walt Terrell came to the Mets for Lee Mazzilli. Now Lee Mazzilli's back with the Mets. Terrell's in Detroit. Howard Johnson is the Mets' everyday third baseman, and Darling's one of the best pitchers in baseball. And out of that, Texas got, I don't think anything. They got whatever they got when they, well, it'll be in here. When they sent Mazzilli to Pittsburgh. Maybe it'll be in the book.
They got to pay me less money because I lost a starting job.
Virgil is aboard. That's the second walk for Darling, who had walked only 30 in 133 innings coming in here. You can see he's been struggling a little bit lately. Mailer tries to bunt his way on, bunts it foul. I can't find out. I do know that the Pirates released Mazzilli, and he was signed by the Mets, went to Tidewater, and then came up here.
Mazzilli went to the Yankees from
Yeah,
the
that's
Rangers.
right. That's Lee Mazzilli with Davy Johnson. Lee to the right of your picture.
Lee tied the National League last year in pinch hits.
Mailer showed bunt, then was going to swing away, but he took it outside, and it's 1-1.
Tied for the National League lead.
A ball and a strike. Ronnie Gant on deck. It's 3-2 Atlanta. He's swinging, but he took it outside. Howard Johnson had come in. He just grabbed some grass and held on there because he saw Mailer cock the bat. Now he shows bunt. He is bunting. He takes it high. It's 3-1. And Darling really fighting it here. He doesn't look like himself at all. Runner at first, 1 out. Well, he's 1 pitch away from making that twice. They chase Virgil back. I guess they thought Ozzie would be trying to swipe one.
Ozzie has 1 stolen base on the season.
I missed that. He bunts the 3-1. The only play will be to first. A 3-4 sacrifice gets Virgil to second. And here's Gant. He bounced to third his first time. Dale Murphy hit a first-inning 3-run homer for the Braves. Singles by Carter and Elster, played at 2 in the second for the Mets. And the Braves have a runner at second with 2 out in their half of the second inning. Low and away, 1 ball, no strikes. Good cut, fouled it away into the upper deck.
Shortstop Elster jockeying with Virgil at second base, hopefully trying to cut down some of his lead. As you see, Ozzie's there. If they can cut a step or 2 off someone like Ozzie, who doesn't have good speed, make a play at the plate.
Fastball caught the corner. It's 2-2. See if he can throw his breaking ball for a strike. That's been his problem in this game. Virgil edges away.
And he can get by with that if he can spot his fastball as he did in that last sequence.
The 2-2. Curve line. Elster can't get it. Base hit. Virgil around third, racing for the plate to throw. He is out at the plate. The ball rolled dead in the outfield, and they were still able to throw him out. It's a single for Gant, but no RBI. It goes 7-2, and Reynolds made some throw. 1 hit, no runs, no errors. Terrible turn there by Virgil. That's what cost him and the Braves a run. If he cuts it close, he might make it. At the end of 2, 3-2, Atlanta.
With Eckert System 2 photo processing, you always get 2 sets of prints.
Richards, how'd those photos come out? Great, boss.
One to give away and one to keep.
About time you did something right.
For whatever reason. Eckert System 2. When this much goes into getting a perfect 35mm photo, make sure it gets the individual attention it deserves with Eckert's UltraLab 35 photo processing. Eckert, we work as hard as you do to get that perfect photo.
Saturday morning, USA. Time to change your oil to this.
Go with the flow, Superflow.
Superflow motor oil from Exxon.
People who know, go Superflow.
Hey, this Superflow is great stuff for blocking wear. Its wear band additive gets deep inside your engine and actually coats the moving parts.
Protects your engine's performance and it shows.
Look, Want your engine to last?
Go with the flow, Super Flow.
Before introducing Kodak's new easy-to-use 35mm cameras, we asked people around the country to try them out. And when they did, something remarkable happened. With Kodak's new Auto 35 cameras, they took the best pictures of their lives.
We go to the third inning. A couple things happen here. First of all, Elster should have, I think, knocked this ball down. It got under his glove. You see as he sort of stutter stepped there. I don't know that he got the bag. He comes rather wide around third. He's a catcher. He doesn't run well. That's the 10th assist for McReynolds. That's a lot for a season. And the Braves are deprived of a run they might have had. Again, play is delayed here while they pound some more dirt around home plate. We understand that early this afternoon they had the cover on, took it off for batting practice. A big flash thunderstorm hit here, and they could only get half the field covered. That's why the dirt looks differently, and obviously they didn't do their homework around home plate for the third time tonight. The game will be delayed while they try to make home plate a playable situation, so we'll update you on the other scores. Dodgers beat the Cubs 1-0 and 6-3 this afternoon. Pirates 4-2 over the Giants after 2 tonight. Cincinnati-Montreal scoreless after 3.5. Danny Jackson against Pascual Perez. Houston 5-1 over Philadelphia after an inning and a half. Buddy Bell a grand slam. Mike Scott against Shane Raleigh, who was knocked out. San Diego at St. Louis just getting started. American League Toronto at Oakland later on. Detroit at California later on. Cleveland at Seattle later on. Milwaukee at Texas just getting started. Kansas City at Boston, nothing in yet. The White Sox lead the Yankees 4-3 after an inning and a half in Yankee Stadium. Jerry Rice was knocked out. John Candelaria pitching for New York. Baltimore in the first of 2 beat Minnesota 7-1. And they're scoreless after 2 in the second game. Following the game tonight, we're going to show highlights of the grounds crew shoveling dirt around home plate. But if those plans change, instead it will be Task Force. Good World War II flick. Gary Cooper, Walter Brennan, a naval officer, fights for appropriations for aircraft carriers in the face of heavy Air Force opposition. Well, here goes the little truck again. Now it has 4 people on it. When it first came out, it had only 2. Now the truck makes its way down the right field line. It heads toward a gate. First, it'll have to go over a big bump in the bullpen. No, it swerved around that. And out the gate it goes. A sensational job of driving. Billy, let's look at that one again.
I know why you're a great play-by-play man now. I actually got a little excited about that.
Well, I guess we don't have the replay for that one either. Oh, here it comes. Do the replay.
Well, as you see this sharp left turn, about 75 degrees. Now, he's on the straightaway. Nothing stopping him.
Watch the way he swerves around the bullpen, though. That's really exciting stuff.
Oh, look at that right-hand move. Oh, the tip of that cap. Ah, that's beautiful. Oh, he misses the infield grass, too.
Well, if Dave Despain is listening, Billy and I are available. He's our auto racing guy. We go to the third inning. It's a 3-2 game. Braves on top. And here, finally, is Billy Sample.
And I was still getting back to the ground crew doing its homework at home plate. Thanks, Skip. It'll be Backman, Magadan, and Strawberry. 2, 3, and 4 in the order, facing Rick Mailer. Backman takes a strike. He grounded to second his first time up. In case you're just tuning in, Mailer was hit by a line drive in the first inning as this fastball's inside around the right calf, and he's managed so far to pitch through it, although we anticipate that he may come out of the game. That curveball stays upstairs. 2-1 to count. Mailer may come out of the game at a later date. Vallejo was up in the first inning, as he was in the second inning, just in case. 2-2 to count to Wally Backman. The Braves scoring 3 in the first on a Dale Murphy one-out homer. And the Mets getting their 2 runs in the second. And that's where we stand. 3-3 and 0 for the Braves, 2-4 and 0 for the Mets. The 2-2s upstairs. Full count to the Mets leadoff batter in the third. We'll see just how ominous that is as the payoff pitch is on its way. Line drive to Andres Thomas. Recovers over to Perry. Backhand. Yes. One away.
Good play at both ends. At the end of the play, watch Perry's right foot, I think it is. See if he stays on the bag long enough. Bill Robinson, the first base coach, sort of looked at Crawford funny. He makes a good play here, and I think he did keep it on just long enough.
We've talked about his hitting, but his fielding also has been good, and I think one of the reasons Gerald hasn't got a lot of fielding accolades as Mailer quick pitches a ball inside to Dave Magadan is the fact that Gerald didn't look particularly smooth, but he certainly has looked good. 2-0 to count to Magadan. Dave was the one that lined that pitch off Rick Mailer in the first inning. Mailer able to recover and retire him at first base. 3 balls to count. Magadan out of Tampa, Florida, has hit 300 wherever he's been. Strike one, says Doug Harvey. 3-1 to count. This one to center field. James starts in. Now Dion goes back. 2 away. Darryl Strawberry, who singled and stole a base his first time up. Darryl's among the leaders in many offensive categories. He takes outside. 6th in runs scored with 59. Of course, he leads the league in home runs with 21. This curveball catches the corner. 3rd in walks, 4th in extra base hits, 2nd on base percentage, 1 and 2 to count. 7th in RBIs with 55. 6th in total bases, 2nd in slugging percentage. Having a pretty good season. Line drive, right center field. Strawberry rounds first hard. Will he go? Yes, he will. To throw the second base, not in time. You get the feeling that the Mets, as a lot of clubs have in the last couple of weeks leading up to the All-Star break, and even now are rounding first base hard, especially balls hit in left center and right center field.
It just got by Gant, and the wet turf slows it up a little. And again, we're not trying to beat Dion James to death, but he's got a left fielder's arm, and he's in center field, and he can't get much on the throw, and it's a rather easy double.
Kevin McReynolds, the batter. Kevin singled and scored his first time up. And one of the things that happens, not only, even if you had a better arm than a lot of people would think, because you have that reputation and you get that tag, and teams are looking for weaknesses, as we await the 0-1 to McReynolds. This one's fouled over the Braves dugout. Teams would try you in situations that if you had a better reputation, teams wouldn't try you. Not necessarily that you throw better, but simply because you have a better reputation. Two strikes to count. Strawberry at second, 2 outs. That fastball's just low. Pretty good pitch. 1 and 2 to count. The Braves, according to manager Russ Nixon, looking for about 40 victories the second half. That would mean that the Braves would play over 500. The 1-2. Fouled back here. Skip Carey is going to make a play. Almost.
I challenged it. You were okay. Croker went under the table.
No, I think the fans knew I was running. You could hear me, hey, it's okay. Still want to hear your theory on why the fans are able to catch these balls and some of us aren't. The 1-2. Swing, just got a piece of it.
I think you see the adult fans heroically challenge line drives hit into the seats later in the game than they do earlier in the game.
That's ironic because they cut the beer sales off at the 7th inning.
It's right around the 7th inning that they really challenge it.
Mailer is shaking off a few signs. Another 1-2. Curveball lifted. Left field. Griffey goes back on the track. It's over his head. Strawberry scores. The game is tied. McReynolds trots into second base with a double.
He had to lose that ball. That was very catchable. It was sharply hit, but it looked like a routine play when it left the bat.
When it left the bat, it did. So you see it. This one stays up a little bit. Griffey freezes, starts in. Now let's see where it hits.
It just got over his head. It carried better than I guess he thought, and it carried better than I thought.
So the Mets with 25 come from behind victories have tied this score. At 3, Howard Johnson the batter. He popped to short with runners at first and third his first time up. Takes a fastball low.
When does the Democratic Convention start? Is that Monday?
I know we're out of town. And the Let's Go Met chant starts as Johnson fouls this one down the first base line.
Well, y'all enjoy yourselves in our fine city. And we really hope you do, but boy, it'll be good to have you gone and get this place back to normal. Where the streets are right, you can go to work and get a reservation in a restaurant.
I got a feeling there's a few restaurants that will cater to.
Oh, yeah. And our sister network, Cable News Network, will have gavel-to-gavel coverage.
The 1-1. 1-2 to Howard Johnson.
Not at the restaurants, but at the convention itself, down in the Omni.
I'm missing something in the democratic process.
Oh.
Not just Democratic and Republican, but if it's already set.
The platform. They have to get the platform.
Oh. I've had to vote absentee ballot most of my life. So I'm glad you're going to enlighten me with that. McReynolds at third, the 1-2.
The platform for both parties is what they say that they're going to do until they get into office, which is when they don't do it.
Virgil, nice backhand stop. Evidently, I missed a pitch somewhere. The scoreboard counts say 3-1 now. 2 outs. The Mets have tied the game. McReynolds at third. And switch hitter Howard Johnson awaits Rick Mailer's next pitch. Now it's 3-2. See, I can't talk politics with you and keep my mind on the game.
All that does is get you a lot of letters. Let's talk about something else.
Deep to right field. This ball's out of here. Blue Cedar. For Howard Johnson, his 17th home run. And RBIs 46 and 47. The Mets now lead 5-3.
home run ball thrown by Mailer. A fastball just above the knees, across the middle of the plate, and he really ripped it.
I found out where that pitch went. McReynolds was balked to third base. Gary Carter, looking for his 300th, takes a curveball outside part of the strike zone. Gary had an RBI single to center his first time up. Two strikes to count as you see Johnson getting congratulated. A member of the 30-30 club last year, has a chance to do that again this year. Has a good chance of doing that again this year. 1-2 to count to Carter. Charlie Palaio now warms again for the third time in the Braves bullpen as that curveball stayed inside. 2-2 to count. Full count to Carter. Mets have taken the lead with 3 runs in this inning. And Rick misses with a fastball outside. That's the 4th consecutive safety for the Mets in this inning. The inning started off harmless enough with Backman and Magadan retired on out. Strawberry doubled to right center field. McReynolds doubled him home. And Johnson homer to right. Kevin Elster with an RBI single his first time up. And he takes a strike. The Braves aren't holding Carter on at first base. Gary has attempted only 1 stolen base and was caught. Fastball outside. 1-1 to count. 2 outs. Mets with 3 runs in, leading 5-3. The 1-1, that's bounced in the dirt. 1-2 to count. Of course, Rick Mailer was hit by that line drive off the bat of Dave Magadan in the first inning on his right, I believe it was his right calf, while he was bunting earlier in the game in his sacrifice attempt in the second inning. Rick looked to be bothered by it a little bit. That might have something to do with the reason he's having a little trouble finding the plate. Catches at that time. 2-2 to count. Now Ed Olwine joins Charlie Palaio in the Braves bullpen. As you look at the pin, poor Charlie's been up 3 times already, and this just the top of the third. The 2-2 to Elster. Fastball grounded to right side base hit. Carter looks at third base coach Sam Palazzo and stays at second base. Elster has his second hit of the night. As I recall, the last time the Mets were in town, Elster had a 4 or 5 hit game. He has really hit the Braves well.
Yeah, he drove in a few runs in that earlier series. By the way, the Mets have won 3 of the 4 games played between these 2 teams this year. And this guy is no slouch up there. He's hitting over 200.
Hitting at 205. He has 9 hits in his previous 44 at-bats. Bounces that one off the plate. Has a couple of doubles, a couple of RBIs, and even a triple. And a chance to really pad the lead. That single by Elster was the 8th Met hit. He's at first, Carter's at second. 2 outs. Mets up by 2. The 0-1. Fastball catches the outside part of the plate, says Doug Harvey. Jerry Crawford's at first base. Steve Ripley, who was ill before the game, managed to make it. He's at second, and Bob Davidson's at third.
Elster had a 4 out of 5 game with 2 RBIs. Another one 2 out of 3 the last time in here.
time is called. And his young career, he's already starting with a club that he likes to see. The 0-2. Darling fouls this one down the right field line. Murphy gives chase, but it'll be about 10 rows up. Weekend series here. 4-game series against the Mets. Zane Smith and David Cone tomorrow night, a 7:40 start as Mailer steps off the rubber. Peter Smith and Doc Gooden Saturday, that's a 7:40 start, and a 2:10 Sunday start, Tom Glavine and Bob Ojeda. Swing and a miss, and the Mets are finally out of the inning. But not before they score 3 runs on 4 hits, no Braves errors, and 2 left. After 2.5, as you look at Howard Johnson admiring his home run, the Mets lead 5-3.